Hello, dear Dharma friend. Please allow yourself to imagine something. You just woke up, and nothing's different. There's a body sitting here. It has the same familiar thoughts it usually does. It has the same sensations of breathing and touching the chair. It gets lost. Awareness gets lost in the wandering mind, and then spontaneously awakens to be here. Sometimes it's pleasant. Sometimes it's unpleasant. But there's something strangely different in that you realize that this that is aware in which everything occurs requires no effort and is omnipresent. And you realize that you are awakening at exactly the right moment. In fact, you've been preparing for your whole lifetime, perhaps even lifetimes, some say, to take your place among the beacons of freedom, love, and compassion. How interesting that we had forgotten. And if you were to cast around in your life, you could probably find someone you could call your benefactor or a teacher or a true friend. Wish them well, which is very natural, isn't it? How would you do that? Well, you could use words. Gosh, I hope you're happy. And as life exacts its toll upon you, may you be wise and loving and compassionate with yourself. And since this is an imagination, there's no way you can do it wrong. It just feels good to extend love to this person. Because, of course, ultimately they are you. And now, in a strange, kind of separated way, think about yourself for a little bit. Think about how difficult your life's been. There's been beauty, too, and there's been success, and you've turned into quite an amazing human being. You can also wish yourself well. Hello, dear self, and you could even maybe imagine yourself as a child. But however you do it, wrap yourself in your own arms of compassion. All you have to do is realize how hard it's been. And while usually we prepare the ground for this, why not just for the heck of it? Imagine that you are present at your own birth, and that you have with you all the love of the Buddha and Kuan Yin and all the wisdom of your long lifetime, and you get to catch yourself. Catch isn't the right word, but you get to hold this newborn, wet creature, and you're very delighted because you see this being has 10 fingers and 10 toes and is breathing well and crying, and so, the great sigh of relief in the birthing room. And what do you say to yourself? Oh, you're finally here. Yay. I'm so glad you were born. I'm always with you. I will always be with you, no matter what, from now on. You might let a small or vast smile come on your face. Let those muscles that are smiling work just a little bit and feel the joy of that. I love you. And carry this with you everywhere. You'll forget. You'll get lost in the old neurotic mind. You'll forget everything. And then you'll remember everything. Be here. Be here. And if you like to imagine, you could imagine that right in the center of your heart, there's a golden Buddha or Kuan Yin or whatever other name you'd like to put upon this. And that from this portal, from this doorway, flows all the love in the universe, an infinite amount of love. And that it fills you, your body, your physical body, all the way down to your toes and fingers, to the crown. And that not only that, it begins, or you begin to realize that this is actually you. This is your fundamental quality of being. And you might bring to mind now a friend, a beloved friend, someone whom it's easy to love, and just remind yourself how precious it is to have this friend. Wish them well. And also, you probably know something of their suffering. Because they're human beings, they're suffering. There are ways their life is not turning out the way they hoped. They may have medical diagnoses. And by the way, in these descriptions, please allow this voice to be any voice you'd like it to be. It can be your voice. It could be the voice of the Buddha. It could be a different gender. It could be anything, and it could be saying anything that you need to hear. Let your auto-translator take care of that. You don't need to work at it. But you know this friend, and you know this friend suffers. So hold them in the heart of compassion. Give them all of the love in the universe and wish them well. May they have great patience in their toils and struggles. May they have great equanimity in the midst of the challenges. And of course, things being as they are, we can realize that this friend is no one other than yourself. And please now think of someone who's rather neutral, they say in the teachings. Could be someone you deal with in the bank or someone you saw in traffic recently. Why not just open your heart fully to them as well? You might as well, because they too are you. Wish them well. And you don't know their particular suffering, but you might as well also use your intuition to realize their marriage is struggling, or their child is struggling, or their health is not good, or they've turned on the TV and have fallen down the rabbit hole. Wish them well. And wish them well knowing that they are you. And if it's difficult or unbelievable somehow that they are you, we could bring to mind that simple Rumi statement. Inside the great mystery that is, we never really own anything. So what is this strange competition we feel then before we go, one at a time, through the same gate? And then there's those beings that we think of that carry for us our shadow, that we think of as the enemy, that we're frightened of. Maybe we even cherish hatred toward. In the safety of your own imagination, remembering the truth of interbeing and the truth of suffering, let them for a few moments be just as they are. And they are, of course, human beings living a lifetime profoundly conditioned and bound for death. Wish them well on their journey. Perhaps we could send them love and compassion and hope they will make better decisions about what they're doing. But fundamentally, just softening back into love. You don't have to make anything better except, in this moment, allow your own consciousness to open and realize that in wakefulness, there are no other beings. There's just this. And of course, in the heart of the Buddha, anything can be contained. So why not let us contain the whole of the earth? The earth, a little dust speck, a pale blue dot. A little dot at what's called the Goldilocks distance. It's just exactly the right distance from the sun, the source of all heat, that water is liquid. Temperature goes from minus 273 or something Celsius to the tens of thousands of degrees. 100 of those degrees, we have water. We are beings of water. And in your imagination, let yourself be the great oceans. And everyone swimming in the ocean, all of us, whales, fish, plankton. Let yourself be the birds nesting high in the trees in the Amazon. Let yourself rest and relax. Let yourself be the platypus in the creek in Australia, or the cuckoo bird in Switzerland. Let yourself be your cat, your dog. Let yourself be all of the burrowing creatures of the earth. It's really okay to let your imagination run wild, to feel, to intuit your way into your interbeing with all of life. And the mind might kind of snap back to a familiar position and say, but what about all the problems in the world? And allow your own great heart to hold this question too. What about the injustice? What about the climate? What about my grandchildren? Allowing enough space to realize that in wakefulness, there's no conflict. Everything is unfolding exactly as it does. Now, of course, it doesn't mean you can't be helpful, you can't be active, you can't work for peace and love and compassion. And here in your heart of hearts, rest in now. And in this now, there is nothing that you need to do, because you are all of it. So we soften those tensions wherever they are, in the hands, in the gut, in the chest, the throat. Rest back in the arms of love. Rest back in the arms you are safe from harm. Lie back in the arms of love. It's okay to stop striving. It's okay to give up for a little while the self that really is desperate to improve itself so it could finally be worthy of love. Just radically lie back in the arms of love. When any thoughts arise, maybe doubt arises, maybe fear, maybe some worry, there's always room for that. This is the luminous equanimity, and coming in love to be present with each and every breath. This one now. It is such a relief beyond words to realize there's nothing to do. There's no one to do anything. Resting here, and let us offer to all beings, deeply rooted in this living present moment, seeing, knowing, being, with clear, open, spacious awareness. Seeing with clear, open, spacious awareness, beyond fear and doubt. Far beyond fear and doubt. Fear and doubt, far beyond. Abiding in luminous equanimity. Luminous equanimity, where nothing can offend anymore. Beyond offense. The path opens. The path unfolds before me. And again, or still or always, you can let the words be any words you want. And so with our intuition wide open, and knowing that we exist as small, centralized beings, and also as the great, vast openness, what might it mean in these precious moments to say, may all beings share in the merits of my practice. May all beings of the air, the earth, the waters, may all beings share in the merits of my practice. I'm going to close with a short story from Tales of a Magic Monastery by Father Theophanes. It's called The Crystal Globe. I told the guest master I'd like to become a monk. What kind of monk, he asked. A real monk? Yes, I said. He poured me a cup of wine. Here, take this. No sooner had I drunk it than I became aware of a crystal globe forming around me. It began to expand until finally it surrounded him too. This monk, who a minute before had seemed so commonplace, now took on an astonishing beauty. I was struck dumb. After a bit, the thought came to me, maybe I should tell him how beautiful he is. Perhaps he doesn't even know. But I really was dumb. That wine had burned out my tongue. But so great was my happiness at the sight of such beauty that I thought it was well worth the price of my tongue. When he made me a sign to leave, I turned away, confident that the memory of that beauty would be a joy forever. But what was my surprise when I found that with each person I met, it was the same. As soon as they would pass unwittingly into my crystal globe, I could see their beauty too, and I knew it was real. Is that what it means to be a real monk? To see the beauty in others and to be silent?